Hello, everybody. This is Ravi Aggarwal from New Delhi. Uh, we are all now locked in mm, and must be doing many kinds of things. Part of my time is spent in just tracking what's happening around the world in this COVID-19 virus, looking at the figures, trying to make sense of them. Uh, but another part of me is also trying to think of what this whole moment mean for us. How can we think about it? It's not easy to do that so close to the whole event, but some thoughts which come to my mind and I'd like to share them with you. Uh, One of them is about a vulnerability and fear, and the second is about the idea of contamination. What does it mean when some foreign body contaminates another body? And the third is about what does it show about our social um, uh, inequities and the kind of society which is being revealed by this event. I'd like to just quickly read for you a few lines from this wonderful book I've been reading called The Mushroom at the End of the World by Anna Zing, who is an academic at in California. So just to quote from her, reading from her, she says, "This is the story we know. It's a story of pioneers, progress, and the transformation of empty spaces into industrial resource fields." She goes on, "This is a story we need to know. Industrial transformation turned out to be a bubble of promise, followed by lost livelihoods and damaged landscapes. And yet, such documents are not enough. If we end the story with decay, we abandon all hope, or turn our attention to other sites of promise and ruin, promise and ruin." Uh, then talking about the idea of vulnerability, which I've been thinking about for a long time, and I'm reminded of some years back when I was working with the fisher folk in Tamil Nadu. I was on this very small catamaran in the middle of the ocean with the fishermen, and suddenly between me and the deep sea was just a few planks of wood, and it I felt very vulnerable, and it came to me that despite all my human security on the shore or whatever might have in terms of social systems, financial systems, etc. When I'm on this water, I was totally vulnerable and I was at the mercy of the elements. And I think that idea of vulnerability is so important because we always try to get around the idea of vulnerability, and today we are feeling very vulnerable by creating systems which we believe in, systems of progress, systems which tend to lower our risk and give us better surety of our impending mortality. Uh, Again, coming back to the book I've been reading by Anna Singh, she says uh, about precarity. What if, as I'm suggesting, she says, precarity is the condition of our time? Or put it another way, what if a time is ripe for sensing precarity? What if precarity, indeterminacy, and what we imagine as trivial are the center of the systemicity we seek? Precarity is the condition of being vulnerable to others. And she goes on to say, a precarious world is a world without teleology. Indeterminacy, the unplanned nature of time, is frightening, but thinking through precarity makes it evident that indeterminacy also makes life possible. And then she counters it with this idea of progress, which we are all bound in. Uh, she says progress is embedded too in widely accepted assumptions about what it means to be human. Even when disguised through other terms such as agency, consciousness, intention, we learn over and over that humans are different from the rest of the living world because we look forward. As long as we imagine that humans are made through progress, non-humans are stuck within this imaginative framework too. And if you take out this idea of a better future, of something going somewhere, and look at this idea of constant vulnerability where life is always located in, maybe it opens up other ways of thinking about this long evolution through which a species like us has come to be less than 100,000 years old as Homo sapiens on a 5 billion year old Earth, and the number of coevolutions which have made this happen. And maybe we should be little more vulnerable and little more respectful of the forces of nature, which has seen many species like us come and go. And maybe this moment is a moment to think about this particular aspect of uh, rethinking uh, the certainties we bring to our lives. Thank you.